Hi guys, it's me Bailey. Welcome back. So what I'm going to be talking to you guys today about is 3 ways to overcome and deal with anxiety in the moment. And before we get into the meat of today's video, I just kind of want to go over what I believe and have experienced anxiety to be. And essentially, it's a lack of safety in the body. So anytime we're anxious about something, we feel a fear, right? Like we feel this kind of low buzzing sensation of nervousness, of not feeling grounded where we are, of not feeling safe where we are. And it's also usually a result of the mind and the body being in different places. So our body is always grounded here in the present moment. It's always exactly where we are. But the mind, however, has the ability to time travel. It can go to the past, it can go to the future, it can worry about something that could happen, it can hold on to something that did happen, and it can keep us stuck in a really not beneficial thinking, feeling state that just doesn't feel good. And so I want to talk to you today about 3 things that you can do in the moment to help soothe those feelings of the buzzy, chaotic internal energy so that you can feel a little bit more empowered and connected to yourself moving forward. And I also just want to kind of share an overarching validation that if you're feeling anxious right now, if you struggle with anxiety, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. I feel like that's one of the biggest problematic forms of messaging that we receive from our modern society. It's that if we have anxiety, it means that we're disordered. It means we're broken. It means we're ill. It actually just means we're human. Literally everyone on the face of the earth that has ever existed has experienced this feeling. It's this chaotic, like, feeling in the body. Everybody's experienced it. And it doesn't mean anything about who you are as a person. It doesn't mean that you're predisposed to feel like this forever. It doesn't mean that you're less capable or less worthy or less deserving or any kind of story that you find yourself attaching to your experience of anxiety. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I recommend doing when you feel that experience of anxiety rising inside of your body is to speak it out. I have noticed in my own life and in the behavior patterns of those who are close to me that when we feel a certain thing, when we're insecure about something or we feel off on the inside, we have a tendency to believe that isolates us from other people and that no one's going to be able to really fully understand how we feel. So then we further isolate ourselves by not talking about it and pretending like everything's okay and just kind of bludgeoning through the day. You know, I'm totally fine, nothing's wrong, everything's okay. And it doesn't do anyone any good. Right? It doesn't give you the opportunity to express yourself and to release some of this feeling just by speaking it out, because speaking things out through this energy center, through the throat chakra, is so healing in the first place. So that's like one reason why to do this. And secondly, it gives the people closest to you an opportunity to support you, to love you deeper, to hold you, and for you guys to become closer and strengthen the bond that you have. And like, what a beautiful gift that is. So if you are feeling a little bit anxious right now, I do encourage you to reach out to the people who you feel the safest around, who you feel, really comfortable around and really capable of opening up to, and just speaking out the fact that you're kind of in a struggle, you're feeling a little bit off, and you would love to just speak to them, or maybe just you want to go lay down in the park with them. Maybe talking isn't what you need, just some like pure unconditional loving presence is really what you're needing right now. So I would highly recommend doing that. Okay, second thing that I highly recommend doing is moving your body. And let's talk about this, because I know that there's a lot of messaging around meditation and like sitting with what feels uncomfortable and just sitting and holding and processing and letting it move through. And yes, there's absolutely a time and a place for just being completely and totally still with something. But for me, in my own personal experience, and it might not be the same for you, but anxiety is this fast moving thing. I have personally found that most of the time what that energy wants to do is be released. It just wants to be felt, it wants to be moved, it wants to be processed, and it wants to navigate its way out of your body. And a lot of times just holding it in drives us up here, and we're just analyzing, trying to rationalize our way out of the feeling of anxiety. But like, you can't rationalize your way out of something that was never rational in the first place. And so oftentimes the crazy, intuitive, wild, funky, silly dance moves, or like running or jumping or screaming or having a tantrum on the floor, or just like shaking your body, those things are going to fast track you to a better feeling state than just sitting and holding and analyzing and rationalizing will. Emotions are energy in motion, and energy moves. It's not supposed to just stay here forever. And a lot of times what causes our anxiety is just a bunch of deposited emotions that never had the chance to live their life out and just be felt and released. And so a certain emotion comes up, like maybe sadness or anger, and we're like, ooh, can't feel that, and we squash it down. And we keep squashing these emotions down until we've created this dense pocket of energy that subsides somewhere in the body that then either comes out later as like chronic anxiety, physical tension in the body, or maybe even physical illness or a skin rash of some kind as well. Anxiety is its own emotion, and it can be like a cocktail of emotions that just need to be like moved and blah and released from the body. 5 minutes of just conscious movement where you're not judging yourself and you're not trying to make yourself look a certain way, and you're just like shaking and really letting yourself be wild and free in your body is so much more healing than just sitting here and analyzing and trying to be like, why am I anxious? I shouldn't be anxious. Stop that. Stop it. Get out of here and into the body. The body holds so much wisdom. And just to add on another layer of that, when you're finished with that movement session, highly recommend journaling, just to continue to process and release outward. You're getting this energy out, okay? And the very last thing that I recommend is to get out into nature. Nature is so unbelievably healing, and just being outside with the trees and the birds and listening to the wind or a waterfall or a creek or whatever it is brings you back home. It brings you back to here. Because if you remember what I said at the beginning of this video, anxiety is often a result of our body and our mind being in two different places. And one of the best things about being out in nature is that it grounds us and brings us home to the now, to right here. And on top of that, if you go outside with bare feet, through your feet, you're able to soak up the negative ions from the earth. And so you're getting physical benefits from being outside in the earth. We're built to be outside. We're built to connect with nature. We are literally of the earth, the same way that the trees are and the birds are and everything. And we spend so much time disconnected from that, like on our phones or on our computers, that we're just being bombarded with so much stressful information. Our nervous system is completely shot. And so just getting outside into the beautiful simplicity and all-encompassing warmth and presence of nature is just, it's so good for your body, your mind, and your soul. So I highly recommend that. And on top of that, something that's really, really cool, the smell of earth, like, that really yummy, the smell after rain, or the smell of the fresh grass, or the smell of the dirt and everything, that yummy earthy smell actually releases oxytocin in the body. And that's that same chemical that we release when we're bonding with our actual mother, like when we're getting that skin-on-skin contact as babies. It's also the same chemical we release when we are petting a dog. And so when you go out there and you breathe in the earth, you're literally bonding with the earth, and your body is releasing the feel-good chemicals in your bloodstream, because it's coming home, which I just think is the most beautiful thing ever. And lastly, the other, there's literally a multitude of benefits of being outside. Literally give your grievances, to give the heaviness and to give all of this burgeoning, really intense energy to the earth, because she can hold it. She's this beautiful, loving, conscious organism that is your mother, right? Like, she's your mama. And if you go out there and you just place your hands on the earth and you say, like, all of this feels too heavy, I can't carry this right now, and I need you to help me, feels like such a big weight off the chest. So highly recommend doing that. And again, maybe like taking a journal out there and just processing, or taking a blanket, lying in the grass, or just lying straight on the grass or on the dirt to feel the cool earth and really soak up all of that goodness. So you guys, that is all that I have for you today. Those are my top 3 things that I recommend doing when you're in the feeling state of having anxiety. Actually, let's throw in a bonus tip here. Remember that when you're having anxiety, it's a temporary experience. Nothing is permanent. And so when you feel all these emotions, just trust that you're feeling them for a reason and that you have the tools within you that you need in order to dissipate it. You're not going to get stuck feeling like this forever. And actually, we prolong things by feeling like we're going to get stuck and by trying to fight it, versus if you're just like, oh, I feel kind of anxious right now. I'm just going to embrace that. I'm going to move my body. Maybe I'm going to journal. I'm just going to allow this thing to be here. It'll dissipate so much faster. If you enjoyed this video and you want more, I'm going to be posting a video every single week. So make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. Comment below. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And if you need any further support with how to integrate these, I would love to help you. And in the meantime, follow me on Instagram. I'm there pretty much every day, just posting updates as to when my program's opening and, daily wellness, spiritual, intuitive tips for a better, more aligned, and more connected life. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, taking the time to move through this video with me. I hope that you found it valuable, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Bye, y'all.